Hello everybody, sorry if I can't tell you exactly what the devices are called, I can't usually, but today has been a particularly bad day for me. Uh, I had to take the pre-ACT, which was stressful enough, but then we couldn't leave until everyone was finished, and yeah. Anyways, I'm actually uploading my redstone thing this week, because I have made significant enough progress. I don't know if I showed this one off, but oh great, it's broken. Hold up. And I'm back. I think it was broken because for some reason, this input, which I'm trying to apply a lot of delay to, because I thought that was the reason. Spoiler there, it isn't. Inputting it like that is somehow different than inputting it by placing a redstone block there. I think I'm just gonna end up putting a piston there. With sticky piston with redstone to push the redstone there. But, boom. And that one's not working because I think there's probably a singular piece of redstone dust missing. Yep. Boop. And then when it retracts, it will retract these first, allowing these to do this. So this one will move up to there and then over to there. And this one, if there was something there, it would get pushed down and then over by this one once this one retracts. And then there's an observer here. You'll see that in action in a second. But that's nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing out of the ordinary here. This side is out of the ordinary, and by every definition under the book. Basically, okay, as this guy is moving along, which this needs to be there instead, don't know why it wasn't, and that means I need to place that one higher. As this is moving along, it needs to have supports to make sure that it doesn't try to fly off, right? That's to have immovable blocks. On this side, that's provided consistently through here. So these back here and up here aren't actually necessary. But back here, you'll realize that there's nothing on this column of blocks stopping it from moving forward. And obviously, we don't want that. So what I have to do is I have to push out a block, and the piston is immovable, so it makes that block immovable from that side. So that can't be pushed back without the sticky piston retracting. When this is flying through, similar to this system here, that stops it from going here and flying off when it arrives, okay? The problem with that is that these slime blocks pull this along. When it extends to grab out those blocks, and then extends again to push those blocks in the right spot, and then send them over to here, right? I know a lot of this isn't making sense. You really need to watch all the other pieces of this. But we don't want that because then it pulls that block along. So what we have to do is we have to extend that first piston and then put a lock on this second piston extension, which means it won't update. And then that lock unlocks as soon as this block has been retracted back, which is a whole lot more complicated. So it goes like that instead. And that was just because there was a different issue, and it wasn't like the additional block. Don't know why it is now, but I'm not removing that. And then you would have to fire again, except with a bigger pulse to do that. I'm trying to get that to happen automatically. What I'm going to do is take out from this line, send it through a long delay, which I'm doing to observers because of tile ability. Then put it through a pulse extender. I'm going to have to put a repeater with 2 ticks on here so it doesn't start flashing repeatedly. Put that into a copper bulb because apparently this fires twice. That's why the pulse extender. Take an output from that copper bulb and make a circuit that only gives a flash when it gets turned on, and that will repower the system. But then the pop bulb will turn off and nothing will happen. So push it back out and send it back that way. Okay, now for this system, it really was just standard. Let me just make sure it's in the right. No, it's not. Okay, we're going to have to fire this twice. That'll only fire it once, but that's fine. Okay, so we need to fire it twice because we see that those pistons are in the wrong way. So, fire it again. It swaps the blocks, the same method that we're using here, only this time it'll send it off. So that I can show you somewhat, not effectively, because there's no free camera in Bedrock to my knowledge. Okay, power that. It pulls that, takes it back. Bada boom. You see these don't extend. We take that out. We can see that it does in fact head back. And then up here there's this little thing which triggers and will trigger this when it's done. Only things left to do are to implement the dual circuit thing in this. And then hook this and this into this system here. Yeah, that's a lot to do. It might not sound like a lot, but that's a lot. But that's just for the block return system. Oh, and I'm pretty sure the thing down here got messed up. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to rebuild. Oh yeah, it definitely did. I've been working on the wrong side this whole time. Oh wait, no, that's no. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. I need to get rid of that. That was to copy it to the other side. Yeah, it definitely got messed up. So I'm gonna have to fix that as a part of the block placement system. And then I'm gonna have to wire all the memory in. And then the logic for the memory. Yeah, there's still a lot to do. Sorry if I overwhelmed you there. It's kind of overwhelming for myself. But if we place the pistons in the wrong position, so I can show you this at work. Okay. And boom, and boom. Let me press the button. We can see that the blocks get retracted. Wait, hold up. There was a singular spot that was supposed to have an observer. Where was that spot? We need to fire it again. Anyways, now we can get rid of those. But one of these spots was supposed to have an observer. Oh boy. Okay. I think I can just edit that in there. Because yeah, it is supposed to go there. That should be fine. Hopefully. So boom, boom. Oh, for those of you who don't know what's going on, in Bedrock you need to have two different piston types for a flying machine. And in order to swap the direction, you need to have it needs to be the same direction. It needs to be opposite directions as well, right? So you need to have two of each type. One of each facing in the opposite direction of the other, if that makes any sense. And then you need to swap out blocks. And that's what this is. There's probably a much simpler way of doing this. Oh. Wait. Oh my gosh, that line's out. Why? Oh, wait. No, that's too close, and then this would impede that. Okay. Thought I was being a complete idiot there. Okay, so what was I concerned about besides that? Hold up. Okay, I now remember what I was concerned about. I was concerned about this firing, which would mean that it would get left behind. And I simply solved that by removing that block there. Which means it can't fire unless you're in Java Edition, and maybe it could because I don't know. But if we fire it, now we should see. Okay, that's good. That's fine. Boom. Boom. And we can see that they are sticky pistons and... uh-oh. That's not supposed to happen. Okay, I found the source of the issue. Both of these were sticky pistons, and this one is in fact working just fine. So if we press the button now, okay. Oh. Okay, fix that issue now. That was a human error, okay. And of course. Okay, well. That's what we can do about that. We can simply tell them to swap. So this is more what it'll look like, except with this in the front. Okay. And then this thing will get detected. And then it'll fire this machine. Well, it'll actually fire this machine first. So let's go with this machine first. So we power it. It takes the blocks back. Now what we can see is they get pushed up, pushed down, pushed around. Boom. Okay. My biggest concern that I have is that this isn't going to be enough delay. So I'm actually going to increase this delay. That's coming up in the opposite direction. Yeah, that's an even bigger problem. There's no delay. Okay. Well, then let's create delay. It's not going to be enough time for it to move back. So I'm going to have two, whatever you call it, delay. Okay. And this will be on the final machine. It will be for when this fires, okay? It's a prototype right now, so it's needing to be adjusted for such things. But, yeah, I was right. It wouldn't have been. But because we're buying it through the same system, it will go through all the steps, but that'll be fine. My computer is beefy enough to handle it. It's not all that beefy, but it's alright enough. There should be an observer there. Sorry. So we power that. And it attracts the blocks. Boom. Waiting for permission to de-track them. Boom. And boom. And then in the real scenario, these would have also gotten swapped. So this one and this one would have gotten swapped. This one and this one would have gotten swapped. When this arrives, it will send this off for placement at the next system. Which does the exact same thing and sends it back. Now, why use this? Because blocks will be popping up here. This will tell us what it is. And then the right block thing here, block storage thing, will get unpowered. So there's a bunch of pistons here. Usually they're all powered. So that when, yeah, that happens. And then as this comes along, okay, imagine this is the flying machine. Pops into place. And then once it, I don't know, I mean, I guess we can just, like, have a little thing here. Not exactly like this, but it'll stop it. Like, just before the, thing that picks it up reaches that block. It will then, since there's a slime block there, through technology like this, where if I power this, it powers the block next to it, and the comparator can read that. So there'll be a slime block there for when it arrives, of course. That's what's dragging us along. Read that it's arrived, and it will ask for the next one. It will push that corresponding up, release that, fire it, and then it will start going along. Pick up the new block and head over to that one. And yeah, that's the basic of how this is going to work. It's a 15 by 15, which now seems small for this would work. Falling sand display, it doesn't use command blocks to regenerate the sand. So we can't lose any sand. As it is, we're not going to be filling up the entire screen with one color. You could build it taller, but then you need more memory, and that giant memory circuit is only for the amount that we have. Yeah. Anyways, that is almost this done. All that we need to do for this section to be done. Well, I've already said sorry. It's been a very long little bit, very long day mainly. But it has to be this packed in because we're already going this far back. That's again why I'm using the observers, so it's all compacted. This is not going to be optimized redstone. If you're looking for optimized redstone, look somewhere else, or you can theoretically improve my design if I ever upload it to Planet Minecraft, which I usually don't, simply because it takes enough time to upload YouTube videos because my internet sucks. Anyways,